Most people run from their weakness like it's a stain on their name, something to hide, something to bury, something to pretend they never had. But weakness is the birthplace of every warrior who ever rose. Weakness is the furnace where discipline is forged. Weakness is the fire that teaches you what comfort never will. How to suffer with purpose, how to show up anyway, how to keep going when your entire body screams to quit. Strength through weakness means choosing to face the parts of yourself you despise, the fear, the insecurity, the doubt, the shame, and walking straight into them without blinking. You don't become strong by pretending you never fall. You become strong by refusing to stay on the floor. The world worships strength, but forgets where it comes from. People see the final form, not the broken draft. They see the warrior standing tall, not the nights he spent on his knees, chest collapsing under the weight of mistakes, failures, heartbreak, betrayal, and self-disgust. Strength is not built in victory. Strength is carved out of loss. Strength is not found in things going right. Strength is born the moment everything goes wrong and you decide to rise anyway. Weakness reveals the truth about you. It exposes your excuses. It rips off the mask you hide behind. It forces you to confront the raw version of yourself, the one who's not confident, not fearless, not perfect, not untouchable. And that's exactly why it's powerful. Weakness humbles you. Weakness strips you down to bones and honesty. Weakness gives you the chance to rebuild without illusion, without ego, without lies. Anyone can pretend to be strong when life feels easy. But true strength, real, unbreakable strength, comes from standing in the wreckage of your life and saying, "I will rise again." Strength through weakness is understanding that vulnerability is not a flaw. It is a forge. Every mistake you made was an instruction. Every setback was a sharpening stone. Every insecurity was a chance to look inward and say, "This is where the work begins." Weakness gives you the map to your own greatness. Only a fool ignores it. Weakness teaches you discipline. When your body feels weak, discipline keeps you moving. When your mind collapses into doubt, discipline is the hand that pulls you forward. When your emotions drown you, discipline is the blade that cuts through the chaos. Weakness teaches you humility. When you fall, you learn what arrogance hides. When you break, you learn what pride never reveals. When you fail, you learn the truth about who you are and who you can become. Weakness teaches you courage. Fear is weakness. Courage is moving anyway. Doubt is weakness. Courage is acting anyway. Pain is weakness. Courage is standing in it until it bends to your will. Strength through weakness is the philosophy of the warrior who refuses to die in the dark. It means you do not hide from your flaws. You expose them to the light. It means you do not run from what hurts. You master it. It means you do not pretend to be perfect. You choose to be relentless. Every scar you carry is evidence of survival. Every wound that healed is proof that you can endure more than you think. Every time you were broken and continued forward, you earned a strength that comfort could never give you. Weakness is not the enemy. Weakness is the doorway. Weakness is the invitation to become someone you are proud of. Weakness is the voice whispering, "This is where you begin again." Strength is not born in the parts of your life that look clean. Strength is born in the parts that nearly destroyed you. Strength through weakness means accepting that your darkest moments are the ones that created the brightest version of you. You grow faster in pain than you ever will in peace. You evolve more in discomfort than you ever will in ease. You cannot become powerful without first being fragile. You cannot become fearless without first being afraid. You cannot become unbreakable without first breaking. We are taught to hide our weakness. Warriors learn to wield it. When you acknowledge your weakness, you take control of it. When you suppress it, it controls you. Weakness is the mirror reflecting every limit you need to shatter, and the warrior stares into that mirror without hesitation. Weakness shows you where you lack discipline, so you build discipline. Weakness shows you where you lack patience, so you cultivate patience. Weakness shows you where you lack strength, so you forge strength. Weakness shows you where you lack courage, so you choose courage. Weakness is not a curse. It is a compass. It points to the exact battles you must face. And when you face them, when you walk directly toward the thing that terrifies you, you unlock the kind of power that can't be shaken, can't be stolen, can't be destroyed. Strength through weakness is a contract you sign with yourself, a promise that no matter how many times life bends you, you will not break. A promise that no matter how heavy the burden becomes, you will carry it anyway. A promise that no matter how dark the night gets, you will walk. You will walk through shame. You will walk through failure. You will walk through heartbreak. You will walk through fear. You will walk through weakness until weakness bends to your will. That is strength. That is discipline. That is the path of the warrior. And when the world looks at you and sees someone unshakable, they won't understand that the reason you're strong is because you faced what they ran from. Strength through weakness is not about hiding your broken pieces. It's about turning your broken pieces into armor. It's about becoming the kind of person who stands tall, not because they've never fallen, but because they learned how to rise with precision, patience, and purpose. When you embrace your weakness, you ascend beyond the version of you that once doubted, feared, hesitated, cracked, crumbled, and ran. You become the version that marches through fire with steady breath, because through weakness, you discovered your strength. Through pain, you discovered your endurance. Through struggle, you discovered your identity. Through ash, you ascend. Strength through weakness begins with honesty, and honesty is the blade most people refuse to touch. It cuts too deep. It exposes too much. It forces you to admit that you're not as disciplined as you claim, not as focused as you pretend, not as strong as the image you project. People hide behind pride because the truth scares them. But warriors don't hide. Warriors face their reflection without trembling. They accept their weaknesses because weakness is the starting point of every transformation. When you lie to yourself about who you are, you kill the person you could become. You stay stuck. You stay small. You stay fragile. When you confront your weakness, you ignite a fire inside you that weakness can no longer extinguish. Strength through weakness means you take your flaws and use them as fuel. Your fear becomes your teacher. Your doubt becomes your map. Your pain becomes your sharpening stone. Weakness stops being something you run from and becomes something you use, because every weakness you face becomes a strength earned. Every fear you walk through becomes a fear defeated. Every failure you accept becomes a lesson mastered. The world believes that strength is absence of weakness. The warrior knows that strength is domination of weakness. You do not become strong by pretending you have no demons. You become strong by dragging those demons into the daylight and forcing them to kneel. It is weakness that taught you discipline. If you had everything together, you'd never need to build good habits. If you never fell apart, you'd never learn how to rebuild yourself. If you never broke, you'd never understand resilience. Weakness is the beginning of every strong person's story. Every warrior started as someone with shaking hands, uncertain steps, fear in their chest, doubt in their voice. Every warrior began as someone wounded. The difference is that they decided to fight anyway. Strength through weakness demands that you turn inward and study your flaws with precision, not emotionally, not shamefully, but strategically. Where do you break first? Where do you hesitate? Where do you lose focus? Where do you quit? These aren't questions of shame, they're questions of direction. They point directly at the exact areas where your training must begin. You cannot fix what you refuse to examine. You cannot climb what you refuse to acknowledge. Weakness is not your enemy. Avoidance is. Strength through weakness requires exposure. It requires walking into environments that test you, stress you, pressure you, challenge you, push you. Growth never happens in comfort. Strength never forms in convenience. Power never evolves in the environments that make you feel safe. Your weakness grows when you protect it. Your strength grows when you confront it. Think about the moments in your life where you felt worthless, lost, helpless, broken. Those moments weren't your death. They were the birth of the version of you that exists today. Every time you wanted to give up but didn't, you grew. Every time life tried to bend you and you refused, you hardened. Every time you collapsed but pulled yourself back to your feet, you became someone more durable. Weakness didn't kill you, it crafted you. Strength through weakness means understanding that every single part of you that hurts is a doorway, not a wall. It means understanding that your lowest point is not a grave. It is the ground you will rise from. When you're at your weakest, you are closest to transformation. Weakness forces you to choose, collapse or climb. Most collapse. Warriors climb. Weakness strips away the illusion that life owes you anything. It forces you to rely on discipline instead of luck. It forces you to rely on grit instead of comfort. It forces you to rely on internal strength instead of external validation. Strength through weakness means you stop searching for an easy life and start building a powerful one. A powerful life is not free of weakness. A powerful life is built on mastering it. Weakness brings you face to face with your limits. That's not a curse. That is the greatest gift you'll ever receive. Only when you see your limits can you begin to break them. Strength through weakness means using your lowest moments as leverage. When life knocks you off your feet, you learn how to rise with more intention. When your heart breaks, you learn how to rebuild it with stronger walls. When your dreams collapse, you learn how to rebuild them with sharper vision. You don't run from weakness, you turn it into a map, a mentor, a mission. Everything you hate about yourself becomes everything that makes you powerful. Strength through weakness teaches you the meaning of responsibility. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to fix your flaws for you. No one is going to carry you to greatness. The warrior understands this. The warrior embraces this. The warrior becomes strong because they accept that their weakness is their responsibility, not their excuse. Weakness also reveals who you truly are. Anyone can be disciplined when life is easy. Anyone can be confident when nothing is going wrong. Anyone can smile when everything is falling into place. But what happens the moment life punches you in the mouth? What happens when everything starts breaking? What happens when the world collapses under your feet and you're forced to stand there alone? That is where strength is tested. That is where the warrior is revealed. Strength through weakness is about showing the world who you are in the dark when no one is watching, when the motivation has died, when the energy is gone, when the excitement has vanished, when your heart is tired and your mind is exhausted. That is where strength is born, not in the highlight reel, in the nights that nearly destroyed you. Weakness is not a burden. Weakness is an invitation. Weakness is the first step onto the warrior's path. Because once you walk through your weakness, once you accept it, face it, master it, and break it apart, what's left is someone unshakable, someone disciplined, someone dangerous, someone capable, someone reborn. Every warrior knows this truth. Your weakness is the place your future strength sleeps. Wake it, train it, shape it, and become the person the world will never again doubt. Strength through weakness is not about pretending. It is about transforming. It is about choosing the hard road because it is the only road that leads upward. It is about showing yourself that you can break and still rise, that you can fail and still move, that you can fall and still stand, that you can shatter and still ascend. Through weakness, you find your truth. Through truth, you find your strength. Through strength, you find your purpose. And through ash, you ascend.